Alright guys, we have the Q&A from the Odyssey, and no, it's still not a Jesus ship, and everything that we basically said in the video regarding it was pretty much right on the money. We're going to go through, we're going to talk about the Q&A, we're going to let you know exactly what is going on for this ship, but no, it's not a carrot killer, and we'll probably talk about why. So, what materials can the Odyssey refine, and does the refinery material go straight to the fuel tanks or to the cargo bay? Good question. The Odyssey can refine quantanium and hydrogen into fuel. The refinery solely exists to extend the ship's range. So refined fuel goes straight to the fuel tanks rather than to the cargo bay. So, next question. Is the Odyssey able to refine materials from other ships, such as the ore bags from the Prospector? Now, obviously, people are thinking, if you have a Prospector, you put it in the bay, you use that for mining, will it be able to refine those materials, right? Good question. It's not planned at this point. There is no way to feed the onboard refinery other than the Odyssey's own mining arm, which they've already said in the previous question will only be able to turn quantanium into fuel and then straight into the fuel tanks. So, is comparison to the Carrack, or does the Odyssey have a capacity to conduct jump point mapping and scanning? The Odyssey does not have the ability to scan and map jump points to the same extent as the Carrack. Still, it's, I don't know, Fez, this is really looking like it's not a Carrack killer. It's looking like some people might have stirred up their fan base for absolutely no reason. What do you think?
Well, it doesn't sound like it's a Jesus ship.
No.
It doesn't sound perfect. So, yeah. I don't know.
It's interesting, isn't it? So, it says it does not able to scan and map the points to the same extent as the Carrack, which remains the best current ship for that particular role. In general, all ships will be able to detect jump points through though a Carrack is simply better at doing it and from much greater ranges. So instead of having to be 5k's away from the jump point, you might be able to be 50k's away from the jump point. For example, using just pulling numbers out of my ass, right? Yeah. What specialized sensors, scanners, if any, does the Odyssey have? I don't see any dedicated scanning, mapping rooms, or equipment. What tools does it give its crew for exploration and making discoveries? There are no dedicated rooms or specialized equipment as default, but that doesn't mean the Odyssey is incapable of performing those functions. A lot of future exploration gameplay mechanics will be driven from stations using MFDs, so the lack of a dedicated room doesn't stop the activity from happening. However, ships that have dedicated rooms for specific features will have buffs to their abilities as a result. If you want to improve scanning functionality of the Odyssey, there are multiple ships that excel in the role that fit within the hangar, such as the Anvil FCR or Hornet and the Terrapin, for example, which would be a very good choice to take with you, considering your Prospector is going to be a waste of time. Because, hey, guess what? It's still not a Jesus ship. So, what's the biggest difference between the Odyssey and the Carrack? The biggest difference is the Carrack specialized in various areas, such as jump point scanning and mapping, onboard drones, and repair facilities. And it's 3 modular cargo bays, which we're going to talk about in a sec, that can be outfitted in the future for various purposes beyond cargo. We're going to be talking about that possibly in a sec. However, favors a more general approach within the flexibility to do a lot of separate roles depending on how you equip it with onboard ships, ground vehicles, and supplies. Can the Odyssey refuel other ships, or is it limited to its vehicles in its hangar? The Odyssey can only refuel ships landed in its hangar via on-foot manual refueling. But I'm pretty sure we'll find some other way of getting past that. How can a mail slot cockpit have excellent visibility? The mail slot is actually quite large opening and provides significant panoramic views for everyone on the bridge. What ships will fit in the hangar? Can you please provide us with some examples? So, they say Avenger, Eclipse, Gladius, Sabre, Arrow, Gladiator, Hawk, Hornet, Hurricane, Terrapin, which would be my choice to take, but anyway. Defender, Mustang, Buccaneer, Herald, Prospector, 100 Series, 300 Series, Aurora, and the Blade. Ships such as the Vanguard, Cutlass, Freelancer are too big, and then the next size up. What are the rings that you can see people standing in the background of the shot? Some kind of grav lift. It's basically it's a lift. But anyway, the Odyssey leverages a lot of Xi'an tech in its construction, and the image below shows the main personal lift, which I'm just thinking Stargate. But anyway. The top hangar also uses Xi'an tech to fold the roof door into a much smaller footprint than typically would be possible. Do the size 4 shields on this large ship mean that a new component size category is between large and capital would be added? Capital components are the same as size 4 components. We have size 5 in-game, and they are often interchanged. So, vehicle is size 0, small is size 1, medium is size 2, large is size 3, capital size 4, presumably also capital size 5. Does that come with a ground vehicle and a snubcraft like the Carrack? The standalone Odyssey comes with no included ships or ground vehicles, allowing you to customize your fleet as you wish. How much space is there for the ground vehicles? Could you fit a Spartan or multiple Cyclones? The ground vehicles area of the Odyssey is quite spacious and designed to carry vehicles of the size of a Ursa rover. And while it shares an overall room with the cargo, the two separated, so carrying a maximum amount of cargo does not impede the vehicle area. This means you can also sacrifice cargo space for additional vehicles. Is it intended at this point to carry a vehicle of the size of the Nova Ballista or Spartan, although more Enterprise players may find a way to squeeze them one in? The brochure shows the crew quarters, but the captain have their own facilities. Being a non-military design, like the Carrack, there isn't a dedicated captain's quarters. However, every crew member has their own quarters, so it's up to the captain to decide which room they like the best. So, Fez.
Yes.
Your thoughts on the FAQ for the non-Jesus ship, the Odyssey?
Well, it's not perfect.
No. Is it pretty much what you thought it would be, though? Because you did buy one, didn't you?
Yes.
Yep. Is it pretty much what you figured it was going to be?
I'm actually happy that it's not the best ship out there.
Yep.
Because if it was, then that would, just render a lot of my other ships are useless and basically
and it doesn't do that, does it?
No.
So when other YouTubers come out and say that the Odyssey is going to render all of their other vehicles useless, they might have been mistaken, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, guys, the reason why I'm hammering this point and whatnot is because of the fact that a lot of people got their fan base stirred up because they didn't have all the information. And, you know, some people that might have been streaming at the time and might make YouTube videos might have got their base stirred up over frigging nothing. Yet again, it's happened. And, you know, I am so sick of this because at the end of the day, we knew this was pretty much what the ship was going to be. You go back to our video where we put out about the Odyssey. This is literally what we said it was going to do. We said it wasn't a Jesus ship. We said that the refinery will most likely only do Quantanium. And at the end of the day, it's not going to replace all of your fleet with one Jesus ship. And at the end of the day, it's frustrating me that certain people will stir their base up going on about how bad this is, that the fact that, oh my god, this ship's going to... And then turn the page and not address this when it comes out that they were completely wrong. So I think we have a right to be a little gluttonous over this, or a little told you so, Mike. But regardless. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's pretty much what I expected the ship to be. And to be honest, I'm happy. This is, when I was looking at buying the Odyssey, I must admit, it was on my mind. I was like, yeah, this is pretty much what I expected it to be. It's going to be an exploration vehicle. You're going to be able to go through, find some materials to keep your ship running, and you're going to be able to keep moving. It's going to be like, quote, Destiny, and I said this in the video, in Stargate Universe, right? But instead of using the sun to recharge its energy, to recharge itself, it's going to use Quantanium that it finds along the way that it's able to mine. And that's the whole reason for the mining arm, is just to refuel so the ship can keep moving. Because God knows, you might be 500 light years away from the next station. You might be 10, 15, 20 jump points away, whatever it may be when they're all put into the game. And you mightn't be able to get to a station and refuel in time. So you can use the Quantanium from the ship, from the mining laser to refuel. And I think CIG have done an amazing job with this. It doesn't replace the Carrack. The Carrack is still hugely important because the Carrack is able to go through and map jump points at a greater distance. And those bays, those cargo bays, remember guys, they're modular. We don't know what the modularity on that Carrack is going to be. They might put a similar refinery on there. You know, they might be able to have a modular that goes into the Carrack that has a refinery where you'll be able to go up and you'll be able to put the material into the refinery and it goes straight into the fuel tank to refuel the ship. We don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know what this modularity is yet. So, yeah. As for Odyssey and the Carrack Killer, do you think it's a Carrack Killer, or do you think
not really?
No. Alright, guys, apart from that, obviously, we're both going to be streaming later. We're probably going to be playing Halo. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding the Odyssey. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm really, really happy with it. I think it's literally, it hits that perfect spot. Where, yes, it's an exploration ship like the Carrack, but they have different roles. But let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Ferretz's details for his stream are in the description below. Please feel free to go and give him a like, follow, subscribe. And like I said, we're going to be streaming Halo. Are you playing Halo today, presumably?
Screaming Halo, yes. I will be here screaming Halo.
He's going to be streaming and screaming Halo. Like a little
girl.
Yeah. Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourself, everybody. And we'll see you in the next Tomatoes video from YouTube.